Celebrities thrive on public admiration. It's practically part of the job. But let's be real, behind the flashing cameras and red carpets, even the biggest stars have their limits. Some clashes start with a shady comment, others explode into full-blown wars. But one thing's for sure, when egos collide, things get messy. Like the time when Doja Cat and Noah Schnapp had an altercation. To start, we've got a social media moment that spiraled. Doja Cat versus Stranger Things star Noah Schnapp. In 2022, Doja Cat reached out to Noah privately, asking if his co-star Joseph Quinn was single. This was supposed to be an innocent interaction, but it quickly went south when Noah decided to announce the news to the internet. He made TikTok leaking this conversation. Obviously, Doja wasn't a fan. She publicly called out Noah, saying his post was socially unaware and whack. After all, Doja is quite active on Twitter. She was unhappy because her private life was discussed on the internet. That wasn't the reaction people expected, and fans were divided. Some backed Doja, saying her messages should have stayed private. Others thought she overreacted to a harmless joke. The mini feud led to a back and forth, with Doja ultimately cooling down and saying she understood he's young and sometimes makes dumb mistakes. A bit awkward, but hey, even celebs have to deal with DM drama. Ariana versus Piers Morgan. In one corner, we have pop icon Ariana Grande. In the other, outspoken British commentator Piers Morgan, and neither of them shy away from speaking their minds. This feud started in 2018 when Piers criticised the group Little Mix for posing nude in a body-positive campaign, accusing them of using their bodies to sell records. Ariana didn't like the comment and obviously wasn't about to let that slide. She clapped back on Twitter, defending Little Mix and calling out Morgan for his double standards, pointing out that he often critiques women for the same things he ignores in men. Morgan, never one to back down, responded, sparking a heated Twitter exchange between the two. Ariana's mom even got involved, backing her daughter and calling Morgan out further. The whole thing went viral, with fans cheering on Ariana for standing up against body shaming and sexism. In classic pop star style, Ariana ended the exchange by tweeting, "Thank you next. That's the best use of a feud. Promote your albums as well. Taylor Swift versus Katy Perry." From one singer to another, and this feud is for a dancer. You see, one of Taylor's dance staff was hired by Katy Perry, and we'll let you decide if this was intentional or not, and Taylor didn't like it. This was back in 2014, when Taylor hinted that her song Bad Blood was about a fellow pop star who'd wronged her. She didn't name names, but fans quickly guessed it was Katy Perry, and the clues started piling up. According to Taylor, the drama began when this unnamed star sabotaged her tour by hiring dancers from under her. Katy wasn't going to let this slide, and the subtle shade-throwing began. She tweeted, "Watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing," which many took as a jab at Taylor. The tension was real, and for years, the two pop queens seemed to be at odds, with fans taking sides in what felt like a pop music Cold War. The song Swish Swish is also deemed to be a diss on Swift. The two later made peace. Will Smith and Chris Rock, the Oscar nightmare. When it comes to shocking moments, the Will Smith versus Chris Rock feud takes the cake. It all went down at the 2022 Oscars in a moment that's still hard to believe. Comedian Chris Rock was on stage doing what he does best, making jokes. But then, he took aim at Jada Pinkett Smith, and the husband didn't like it. Will Smith walked onto the stage and, in a moment no one saw coming, slapped him across the face. He returned to his seat, telling Rock to keep my wife's name out of your mouth. The room went silent, and the clip instantly went viral. Everyone was thinking if this was scripted or not. An actor like Will Smith can't do something like that, right? However, things did end well for Chris, as he made millions from the specials he did later on the slap, Matthew Perry and Keanu Reeves. Let's kick things off with an unexpected Hollywood clash. Matthew Perry versus Keanu Reeves. Sounds odd, right? Well, it started with Perry's memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. In one chapter, Perry mentions Reeves in a way that caught readers off guard, saying, "Why is it that the original thinkers like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger die, but Keanu Reeves still walks among us?" The line was meant as a nod to Reeves' resilience and outstanding performances, but didn't quite land as intended. The backlash was swift, with fans rallying behind Reeves and questioning Perry's comment. Even though Keanu didn't react, things were still tense. Realizing how his words were taken, Perry quickly apologized, saying he actually admired Reeves and didn't mean any harm. He even went a step further, promising to remove the comment from future editions of the book. This feud may have started as an innocent slip, but it shows how words can take on a life of their own in Hollywood. This is nothing compared to what happened with the Stranger Things star. Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly. One thing you don't do is piss Eminem off, because when he responds, he might cause you to switch genres. Well, that's what happened with MGK. The Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly feud kicked off in 2012 when MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter, Hailey, calling her hot. Eminem didn't take kindly to the comment, and 6 years later, he fired back in his track, Not Alike. Although the song was just a mention of people M didn't like in the industry, MGK responded with a full-blown diss. Claiming the post of the rap devil, he threw some serious shade at Eminem's age and career. Well, that was it, because Eminem hit back with Killshot, a brutal takedown that became an internet sensation. With just one diss, M killed the rap devil, and MGK hilariously left rap to make other genres of music. J. Lo versus Mariah Carey. This one gets extra points for the meme it gave us. One of Hollywood's longest-running shade fests, the feud between Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey is iconic. It started in the early 2000s when Mariah was asked about J. Lo and responded with the now infamous line, "I don't know her." Fans took this as a subtle shade, and it quickly became a pop culture meme. Rumor has it that behind the scenes, there was tension over music sampling, with Mariah allegedly believing that J-Lo's team had borrowed ideas for her songs. J. Lo mostly kept quiet, but Mariah's "I don't know her" response seemed to say it all. To this day, both have stayed cool and professional when asked about each other, though Mariah's iconic line remains one of pop's most memorable snubs. The Rock versus Vin Diesel. Both these bald men have one condition for each movie. Neither of them can lose. That's right. It's in their contracts that they can't lose a fight or get beat up. So when they come face to face, what happens? Well, that's what happened on the set of Fast and the Furious. The tension between Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, and Vin Diesel reached a boiling point during the filming of Fast and Furious 8, but it didn't end there. It spilled over into Fast and Furious 9 and beyond. It all started when The Rock publicly criticized Vin's work ethic on social media, calling out candy asses in the cast, which many believed was directed at Diesel. This sparked a war of words that had fans wondering if the franchise could survive. Despite the on-set drama, both actors continued to promote their respective projects. Johnson decided to step away from the main franchise, eventually starring in his own spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw. They openly criticized each other in multiple interviews. Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. The feud between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is one of the most talked about rivalries in hip-hop, and one of the only few that reached physical violence. It all kicked off in 2017 when the two stars began throwing subliminal shots at each other on social media and in their music. The tension reached a boiling point at the 2018 New York Fashion Week when Cardi confronted Nicki, leading to a dramatic altercation that involved Cardi throwing her shoe at Nicki. You can see the hatred in the songs, with Cardi's motorsport verse and Nicki's Barbie dreams igniting further speculation about their relationship. Despite the drama, they've both expressed a desire to end the feud, but it's reached a stage that can't be peaceful. Which side are you on? Kendrick versus Drake. This one is one of the most recent and probably the most iconic feuds of the year. K-Dot and Mr. OVO were deemed the biggest players of the rap game, but Kendrick didn't like his association with Drake. So when he was supposed to be one of the big three with Drake and J. Cole, he released a track with Metro Boomin claiming that he doesn't care about the big three, it is just him at the top. Obviously, Drake couldn't just stay quiet, and he released a full-blown diss aimed at Kendrick Lamar. This gave rise to a feud that generations will talk about. Song after song, day after day, more diss aimed at each other was released from both the parties, which gave rap fans 2 weeks of more amusement. But this ended up darker than anyone thought. The whole industry was split in two, And accusations like being a pedophile were launched at Drake, while in turn, he claimed Kendrick was a wife-beater. The two still don't want to take the path of peace, and Kendrick even went on to perform his diss songs at concerts. So, this shows that not all feuds end with peace. Which side are you on, Team K. or Team OVO? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.